Okay, today we're going to continue solving equations, and it's going to be multiplying and dividing instead of adding and subtracting. So we're still using inverse operations, which just means the opposite, to solve these. So for example, on letter A up here, we have 4x equals 24. So we're going to divide both sides by 4. Okay, and I want to do that because I'm trying to get rid of this 4. So, oh, that pen is dead. So when I do that, 4x divided by 4 is just x. So what I'm left with is x equals 24 divided by 4, which is 6. Okay, you might not even need to do that whole exercise. You might be able to look at it and say, well, 4 times what is 24? Oh, I know that's 6, and that's totally fine as well. Okay, let's look at the next one. Hold on just a second. Okay, on this next one, what we're going to do is, it's saying negative 6 times x is 42. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 6. I'm doing that because I want negative 6 and negative 6 to cancel out. So now I have to remember my integer rules. And when you multiply or divide by a negative, I'm thinking inequalities. When you have a positive divided by a negative, that's only one negative, so it's negative. So x would equal negative 7. Let's look at letter C. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 8 because I want to cancel out this negative 8 right here. So what that leaves me with is y equals negative 40 divided by negative 8 is positive 5. Because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Okay, let's look at D. So D is saying x divided by 5 is 100. So the opposite of dividing by 5 is going to be to multiply by 5. So whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. And so when I do that, I get x equals 100 times 5 is 500. And it makes sense because 500 divided by 5 is 100. And then this last one, it says x divided by 3 is negative 14. So I'm going to take both sides and I'm going to multiply them by 3. When I do that, I get x equals negative 14 times 3 is negative 42. And that makes sense because negative 42 divided by 3 is negative 14. Okay, let's come up here and look at letter F. Okay, so on letter F, it's negative 6 times x is 33. So I'm going to go ahead and divide both sides by negative 6. That cancels out. And if you're thinking, well, 6 doesn't go evenly into 33, that's true. So we're going to go ahead and set it up with a decimal. 6 goes into 33 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. 3, bring down a 0. 6 goes into 30 5 times. 5 times 6 is 30. And so I'm done. And it was a positive being divided by a negative. So that's negative 5.5. Letter G, x being divided by 4 is 7. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. That cancels out. And I'm left with x equals 28. Letter H, x divided by negative 3 is negative 8. So the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 3. And x equals negative 8 times negative 3 is positive 24. And then the last problem, letter I, x is being multiplied by negative 2. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. 2 doesn't go into 21 evenly, so I'm going to set it up like this. Okay, 2 goes into 20 10 times, into 21 10 times, and that's 20. That's a 1, bring down a 0. 5 times 2 is 10. So it's 10.5, and it's a positive being divided by a negative, so that's negative 10.5. And again, I can check it, and that makes sense. Negative 10.5 times negative 2 is positive 21.